Tails. So
Ollie's first pick.
Ollie gets the first pick.
With my first pick in the inaugural Avalanche All-Star Game draft, I'm taking Rob Gale. Well, I think he speaks for himself, to be honest. The top goal scorer and an all-round good player. He'll play both ends of the ice. He'll be a good teammate for us. And yeah, his versatility as well as his skill is going to be very useful at being able to play D or wing or centre. So yeah, he picked himself really.
With the second selection of the UEA Avalanche All-Star Draft, Team Chapman is delighted to pick Richard Spink. With the third selection of the draft, Team Chapman is pleased to pick Richard Brookman. Well, firstly, I decided to pick Spink as when you know you're going to be playing against Rob Gale, you need to shut down D-man, and you know there's no better in the business. Plus, brings a lot of experience to the team. He'll be good on the ice. He can help with a bit of coaching, and yeah, he's an all-round good guy. Why I put Brookman? Don't know. You know, you've got to fill out a number somewhere, so I thought, why not?
Okay, with the fourth pick in the Avalanche All-Star Game draft, I'm very pleased to select Paul Arne. With the fifth pick in the Avalanche draft, I'm very pleased to select Angus Wine. Alright, so with the fourth pick I took Paul Arne. I felt we needed some physicality on defence, and obviously with Richard Spink having already gone, it was something I had to address pretty early. Paul again can play forward or defence, so he brings us that bit of versatility. He's got plenty of experience, really good skater, so he'll cover a lot of ice. Angus Wang with the fifth pick. Angus, I think, is a very understated player and one of the best two-way players on the team. You can chip in with goals, as he's shown. He'll play responsibly at both ends too, so I'm very pleased to take them both.
Alright, with the sixth pick of the All-Star Draft, Team Chapman is pleased to take Raj Ondia. With the seventh pick of the All-Star Draft, Team Chapman is pleased to take Craig Jacobs. So I took Raj because drafting Brookman and Spink early, playing in D, needs some goals, and outside of Rob Gale, there's nobody better at putting a puck in the net than Raj, so it was an obvious choice. And then with Craig, again, felt like our forward lines needed a bit of extra oomph, and Craig's a very good two-way player, brings a lot of energy and intensity to the ice, so yeah, I'm pleased to have him.
With the eighth pick of the All-Star Draft, I'm very pleased to select Peter. With the ninth pick of the All-Star Draft, I'm again very happy to select Dave. Okay, so with the eighth pick I took Nips, and determined to deliver his first win as an Avalanche goaltender, so I thought this would be a good opportunity. He's really come on leaps and bounds in a short period of time. Him and Sean, it's amazing how well they've taken to the position. Dave, again, another two-way forward. I hope he'll work hard up and down the ice. Hopefully chip in with some chances, some shots, and yeah, I think he'll work well with the two forwards I've already drafted.
With the 10th pick of the Avalanche All-Star Draft, I'm delighted to take Alex Alzogby. With the 11th pick of the All-Star Draft, Team Chapman is pleased to take Saul Berman. Yeah, I was pleased to take Alex. If I'm honest, I thought we'd go a bit higher up in the draft, but I already had two solid D-men, so obviously he slipped down my priorities a bit, but I'm absolutely delighted to get him where I did. You know, the things he can do, he's probably the best skater on the team. He's really smart at moving the puck. You know, he's never outworked in the corners either, and yeah, he's just a really, really solid D-man, and yeah, I'm absolutely delighted to have him. As for Saul, yeah, you know, Saul, I just love his hustle. He's up and down all game. He gets involved in battles. He's working hard in the corners. He'll pound people on the boards. You know, he really does bring a lot of effort for a small guy. It's sensational. So again, I'm delighted to have him. And you know, my team is going to be about effort and attitude, as Brookman said. And yeah, Saul brings a lot of both of those. So very pleased.
Okay, so yeah, are you pleased with your team, and how do you think the draft is shaping up?
Yeah, pleased so far. I think we're looking strong in defence, and we'll play a hard working game. Hopefully, obviously with Rob leading the way, we've got some goals in us as well. And I think, again, with Paul Arne on defence, we can play out from the back and inject a bit of offence that way too. And really pleased to get Nips in goal, who I think will, you know, would be a really solid foundation for us to go from defence. So pretty pleased so far.
Okay, so this is, yeah. How do you think the draft is shaping up, and are you pleased with your team?
Yeah, the draft has gone sort of the way I expected it. In terms of my team, yeah, I'm delighted at the moment. I think we've got a really solid decor. I think taking Spink with our first pick will make us solid. As we've got Brookman who can play there as well, and then to complement that with Alex means that we will have a genuine top shutdown pair. And look at Ollie's team, yeah, okay, he's got Rob, but you know, there's no reason we can't counter that. And then in terms of our forwards, you know, we've got me, Craig, Raj and Saul, you know, all hard working, hustling forwards, and all got goals in us. So yeah, I'm delighted with how my team's shaping up.
With the 12th pick of the Avalanche All-Star Draft, I'm delighted to select Megan Metcalf. With the 13th pick of the Avalanche All-Star Draft, I'm very pleased to select Anna Hart.
With the 14th selection of the All-Star Draft, I'm thrilled to take Sean Reed. With the 15th selection of the All-Star Draft, Team Chapman is pleased to take Andrew Lang.
With the 16th pick of the Avalanche All-Star Draft, I'm delighted to select Adlise Kramer. With the 17th pick of the Avalanche All-Star Draft, I'm very pleased to select John Ballinger.
With the 18th selection of the All-Star Draft, I'm pleased to select Drew Fleming. With the 19th selection of the All-Star Draft, I'm pleased to select Laura Gould.
With the 20th pick in the Avalanche All-Star Draft, I'm very pleased to select Lawless. With the 21st pick and last pick in the Avalanche All-Star Draft, I'm very pleased to select Adam Crawford.
So with Adam being selected as the 21st pick, that closes the draft for 2013. We'll start with you, Chris. How do you think the teams match up now you've made all your selections?
It was quite interesting because when I was doing a few practice drafts and just thinking through who would be selected first, I kind of had this idea that would be a clear dichotomy of one team would have good defence and one team would have good offence, obviously because I think we both knew that the first two picks were probably going to be Rob and Richard Spink. But the way it's worked out, they're quite balanced. I mean, I was surprised by how high defencemen went in the draft. So it means on both sides we're both quite defensively solid, and yeah, it's just going to be a matter of whose forwards execute the most, because I don't think there's a clear gap in talent between either sets of forwards. We've got a couple of grinders both and a couple of really skilled guys both. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting matchup that's going to be decided by probably individual battles all over the ice.
Yeah, it's certainly shaping up as an intriguing contest. Ollie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Like, obviously, we stepped out a bit and taking a goalie pretty high, so that's obviously a risk, but something hopefully that'll pay off. Yeah, there was still some good forwards on the board there, and obviously Chris has benefited from that, but I think they look fairly evenly matched, and yeah, as Chris said, they're both pretty defensively solid, so it should be a pretty close forward.
Okay, Ollie, you took Paul with your 4th selection in the draft. Lots of people had predicted that Rob would go first and Spink and Brookman would be 2nd and 3rd. What made you take Paul over everybody else?
Well, to be honest with you, I felt that there was a group after that top 3 you mentioned that was pretty closely matched of 4 or 5 players, and Paul got the edge for his ability to play in defence. I thought that was, having not got Richard Spink, who probably is the standout defenceman in the group, I thought it was pretty important to reinforce the back end pretty quickly, and the other players I had in that group were exclusively forwards, so Paul had a bit of added weight, I think, for that.
So, Chris, were you pleased to see that Ollie had picked Paul with his 4th pick? Did that come as a shock to you?
It came as a little bit of a surprise, but then in my pre-draft rankings, I had Paul down as a forward, so that's mainly why I was surprised. When I heard that Ollie was planning to play in as D, that was less of a shock. But yeah, I'd reiterate what Ollie said after the first 3. There were a group of 3 or 4 players, or 5 even, who were all kind of evenly matched and really good, and then it was just a matter of what you wanted to do with the team and the balance you wanted to bring to the team who you were going to select. And I think Paul as a D man and Angus as a winger are both really good.
So the draft has come to an end. Chris, what do you think gives your team an edge over Ollie's team?
As I've said before, I think both teams defensively solid. But what gives my team the edge is our ability to score goals from D. I mean, if you see the training sessions and the games that Richard Spink has played in, everyone knows that he's very capable of scoring goals, as well as going coast to coast to score goals. So he's got a slap shot, a wrist shot, and can dangle people. So I like that. Brookman, obviously, we know he can score goals, although he hasn't shown it throughout the course of the season. He finally broke the duck against Chelmsford, and having played centre for most of the year, he's a dynamic offensive player who we're playing in D, so he can score goals as well. And obviously Alex is a human highlight reel. He's got a good shot on him, so I think when our team gets to Peterborough, our tactic will be get pucks to the net, and I believe our decor can all do that. So.
Yeah, no, you certainly make some good points, and I believe Brookman is a prolific scorer in training. So yeah, whilst he may not have scored in games, then he does score a lot in training. So yeah, Ollie, Chris makes some good points there. He's got a strong defensive core. He's got some goals in the side. Are you worried? Are you concerned?
Not really, no. Well, it's obviously a good team where they're all good players, but I think what we can combine is a really good two-way play, both among our forwards and our defensemen. A really solid foundation in there with Peter, and I think we have a couple of players up on forward and on D as well who can be kind of real game breakers for us and can come up with that moment of magic that might decide it. So I'm feeling confident.